Hi everyone, I'm Corjo, as always CJ, and in today's video we will be going over the 2023 Superdrop secret layers in its entirety, talking about all of them individually, saying what's in them, and giving my thoughts and opinions on each of the individual ones, and then the overall Superdrop, kind of giving my thoughts and opinions on that, saying kind of in my opinion on what's worth it and what's not worth it, what is a really good buy and what's not a good buy. And then I have made a video kind of like this when it comes to this secret layer. I done a kind of when it comes to there was like 3 of the selections, the multi-universe thingy, where I said a pick and mix would have been better. So if you're interested in that video, there will be a link down below or in one of my playlists, because my YouTube is so great, you should watch all my videos. So we're going to start off talking about what is the 2023 secret layer Superdrop thing. So in this secret layer drop, you get a choice of 8 secret layers. 5 of them you get the choice of in normal and foil, and then there's a bunch of like bundles where you can get like all the multiverse ones. You can get them all together if you buy the whole bundle and stuff. So we're going to be going through them individually first, and then we'll continue on from there. So the first one I'm going over is called Cool Ocean Breeze. There's 4 blue cards in this, and then you get to choice if you want to buy them in foil or non-foil. In this secret layer you get Lenowan Sephardil Empress, Master of Waves, Thassa Deep Dwelling, Thassa's Oracle. When it comes to these cards, I find 2 of them are a bit meh and very circumstantial, and 2 of them are really good cards, pretty much really useful in majority of blue decks. The artwork of these cards are absolutely breathtaking. I love the art. To be honest, if I had the money to throw, I would probably just get it mainly because of the art itself. 2 of the cards are very meh when it comes to the choices that are picked. I've never actually seen them played before. One's quite a good card when it comes to bringing all non-blue creatures back to people's hands. However, there is cards that do that. One of the cards I actually see a lot of play of is a blue card that if it returns all attacking creatures and it's at instant speed, and I see a lot of people play that instead of this. And then the other one is a okay card if you have a Merfolk tribal deck, which I know a lot of people do, but as a whole of Magic Gathering players, the percentage of Merfolk decks is like reasonable enough, so I can see a bunch of people buying it for that reason. However, a lot of people will not be buying it because there's a lot of more players that don't have Merfolk decks than do have Merfolk decks, if that makes sense. But the main reason people would buy this, in my opinion, are the 2 cards. One being the God Thassa, mainly because she is a really good flicker card. If you have a commander with a great ETB in blue and you want to activate that ability each turn, or if you want a really good flicker deck, she is a really good card, because it's one of those things that the main part of her ability that most people use is the fact that you just get to flicker something and bring it back and get that ETB trigger. The second one being the Oracle, which has a unbelievable amount of ways to just instantly win you the game, which a lot of people, in my opinion, will be buying if they have that card in their deck, mainly just to bling it up. Overall, do I think you should buy the secret layer? If you love the artwork and have the spare income, I recommend buying it. Absolutely beautiful. If you have a deck with both, or decks with both Thassa and the Oracle in it, and you want to bling it up, I recommend buying it and then just keeping the other 2. I find the weakest point are the other 2 cards. So it really depends if you have a Merfolk deck or if you want a deck that has stuff returning someone's hand. Then both of the cards would be an okay, but the main priority when it comes to this is the Thassa and the Oracle. The second one we're going to be talking about today is called Nature is Adorable. In this set there is 4 green cards in it, and those cards are Joraja Tree Speaker, Nature's Will, Ulvenwell Tracker, Yeva Nature's Herald. So the art is really cute and really adorable. It kind of reminds me of like a children's book type of art style, which again, I'm not trying to say the artist is good for drawing kids books if is insulting. I'm just saying the style reminds me of like a children's book type of genre area, and it is really good and amazing art. However, the card selection is not the best. I find it to be the same as Cool Ocean Breeze. I find 2 cards to be relatively good and 2 cards never seen, never played, and kind of meh. The first one being is the Level Up card. Level up cards were a good idea, just executed badly, because it's one of those things that majority of level up cards has a normal card that costs less mana that does the exact same or more. So no one really plays the level up cards. The only level up cards I've actually ever seen played is the one that either gives you extra turns or takes someone's turn. I can't remember. It's like a blue lighthouse dude. That's the only one I've ever actually seen in play. And then the second one being the creature that you can tap and get one of your creatures to fight someone else. Again, the problem is there is too many cards that are better, in my opinion, that do the same ability for a lot cheaper and at instant speed, so you get to do stuff that you don't see coming. I don't think it's really the best card. However, the other two cards are absolutely amazing. I love the card that gives green creatures flash, because having a green deck myself, I have that card in there mainly for that same ability. On someone else's turn, I've literally like tapped 2 multiple times and played the commander being Golter. It's really, really good. Comes out of nowhere. You play it on someone's end step, then you get to attack on your turn. It is a great card if you want to play something big on someone else's turn. The next card I actually didn't know existed until I read this Secret Lair, and I want to get like 4 copies of this card. I find this card to be absolutely amazing. The ability to tap other people's lands and untap yours, especially if you have the creature in as well at flash speed, is absolutely amazing. You spend all your mana, go to combat, attack, untap all your mana, tap all their mana, then technically all your commanders come in without counter spells unless they have a way to play it for free. Then you get to play the big creatures you wanted to play that you spent your part 1 of your turn mana on. Really good card. Absolutely love it. Did not know it existed until I seen this Secret Lair, and now I want it, especially in this really cool art. So the next ones we're going on, there is 3 artist series, which is usually cards made by a specific artist that they do all the art for the cards. I don't know how it usually works for like Gold Breeze or something like that, because I'm not sure if it's multiple artists or stuff like that, but this is usually a artist or a graphic designer or something like that making the art for the Secret Lairs. I'm not sure if they pick the cards or someone from the company picks the cards for them. So the first one we're going over is Rebecca Gayou. Hopefully I'm saying that right, I apologize if I don't. In this Secret Lair you get 4 cards. 3 of them being white and 1 of them being blue, which I find is a really weird thing, having 3 white cards and then a random blue card. It doesn't seem, it feels like it's kind of like outside of kind of what this Secret Lair wanted to be. When it comes to out of this, it is really good and the person's really talented. However, it's just not my style. I find it very, I don't know how to explain it, but I just I look at that and feel a bit weird. It looks a bit like monstrous, like I picture it as in a picture horror world type of thing. I don't know how to explain it. The art is well made. I'm not going to say that it's not my type of art. In this Secret Lair you get Cleansing Nova, Sarah the Benevolent, Stoneforge Mystic, Muddle the Mixture. So this Secret Lair is very weird in my opinion. I find the white cards to be really good, especially for a Secret Lair. They're well played, well known, and well used. However, the blue card, it is the one I'm going to start off with, is mainly where my concern is. I find it weird, especially since we have 3 somewhat powerful to quite powerful white cards, and then we just have a random blue counter spell with Transmute. It doesn't seem like they go together. Cleansing Nova is a classical board wipe. It's really easy to use. I see in a lot of white decks. It's probably one of the cheapest and most used, or one of the most used white board wipe spells that I know of. When it comes to Secret Lairs, I absolutely love when they put a Planeswalker in it, mainly because I'm a collector of Planeswalkers and I love to get them in its alternate art. So finally seeing the second printing of Sarah is a really good thing. The reason I've done that is because there is 1 printing, but it's 2 versions of it. A second art of Sarah is a really good way, and I say people that are into collecting Planeswalkers and want the best art would be mainly getting it for the Sarah. And then we had Stronghold Mystic, which is a really, really good and really expensive card. The last time I know from the top of my head, this was roughly like 30 quid because the ability of getting really good equipment. If you're having a Voltron deck or a very powerful deck that has equipment in it, this is a really good card because it helps you get ridiculous amount of equipment and then get to play them. It is a really well known card for breaking the format of Commander and then many other formats too. However, the Transmute card or the Transmute Counterspell card is where this dips heavily. I mainly see this card because of the Transmute ability that you get an instant or sorcery for 3 mana, I think from the top of my head, instead of actually casting the card itself. And I do find it weird because you get a really powerful board wipe, you get a Planeswalker, and then you get a broken card like the way Oracle was for Cool Ocean Breeze. And then there's just this, not even a powerful or a super powerful counterspell. I've never seen anyone use this counterspell, and yet I've played with people, and a few people that are heavily into playing their counterspells. A friend of mine has a counterspell deck. The whole point is just counterspells, and I still have never seen this card. And now we're on to the artist series Randy Vargas. Hopefully I'm saying your name right. In the Secret Lair, you get 2 white cards, a red card, and a colorless equipment card. And those cards are Grand Abolisher, Selfless Savior, Akroma Angel of Fury, Emezua Jit. When it comes to the 2 white cards, one is a really good card to make people stop counterspelling you, flashing in creatures on your turn, and kind of making sure that your turn is solely yours. I have seen this played a few times in a Stags deck. I've actually had a Stags deck of my own, and a few people have suggested this card for me. The second white card is really good to protect your commander for a turn. However, this broke the internet of how cute the dog is. Out of all the Secret Lairs I've seen, most people I've seen have been wanting just this card solely because it is absolutely adorable, and I fully agree with that. Then it is the red card being Akroma, which is a really good and powerful commander in a Voltron style deck. The biggest flaw being how much mana it casts for her to be put on the field. I don't really know how Morph works, especially with her as a commander, but however, if you play her, power her up and attack, she is a really cool and beautiful card, especially in this art style. And then what seems to be a theme in majority of these Secret Lairs is one powerful card, at least in each one. I had no clue this equipment was a thing until I started seeing combos. The amount of stuff you can do with this card, and I think it's the one I'm thinking of, is absolutely ridiculous. However, they've done a Oracles and they've done another one. They seem to be putting very powerful cards that's really good and well known with combos in majority of these Secret Lairs, which in my opinion is a good way to sell majority of these Secret Lairs. When it comes to the art is absolutely amazing. It's a bit too realistic for my standards, but however, people will enjoy it, and I know a lot of people will, because a lot of people like realism when it comes to like characters and stuff. I know a lot of people are going to be buying this mainly for the cute little dog, and don't get me wrong, if the single version of it is really cheap, I will probably be picking it up myself because I love that cute little doggo. And now we're on to the artist series Alanya Daniel. Hopefully I'm saying that right. I'm going to say it again while reading the script. So we are on the artist series by Alanya Daniel. This Secret Lair has 2 white angels in it and 2 lands. So this Secret Lair is, that's what I'm saying is more weird about the one with the blue counterspell in it. This is a fully themed one, or you can see the connections at least. There is 2 white angels, a land that lets you return white creatures, where I could see this being played in a pure white angel deck, and then a land that gives you life every time you play an angel, and here they are on screen now. Linvala, Keeper of Silence, Sunblast Angel, Mary of the Sky Ruin, Seraph Sanctuary. So one of the things that I absolutely love out of all the non kind of multiverse ones, this one is the one I was actually considered buying. I ended up not, but out of all of them, this one was my favorite. I absolutely love how powerful the 2 angels are, especially what you want in a Secret Lair. The art is absolutely beautiful in every single one of them, and the angel, the cards they picked are quite good cards. Starting off with the first angel is a somewhat decent board wipe, especially if you have flash in the deck. Because being able to flash that in, do a board wipe if someone attacked, is really, really good, especially when they're attacking and they don't have vigilance. I'm pretty sure they get destroyed before the damage goes through, but I could be wrong there. But then you get a flying angel. The next being a other very good angel if you're into angel tribal that kind of stops activated abilities. So this kind of puts a chunk down on like slivers, that like some of the slivers that you have to tap to activate their abilities. Elves, a lot of elves, humans, anything really tribalish. This card's really good that the tribe kind of taps to help each other out. This card just says no. Plus you then get a flying powerful angel. Then you get a land that in a pure white deck is really, really good with bringing stuff back from your graveyard to the battlefield, and that's kind of what you want. This seems to be more of a black card in my opinion, because it's usually black cards that bring stuff from the graveyard back to the battlefield. However, there's a white land that does it. This card is absolutely bonkers, especially if you're making a tribal white pure angel deck. Literally you just go, cool, you kill my angel, I get a free angel. Especially with how expensive mana-wise angels usually are, because they usually have really cool and unique abilities. Then the final land is something that again would go really good in an angel tribal deck, which is every time you play an angel or a shapeshifter or shapeling or whatever you want to call them, you gain life. That's the whole point of angels. Pretty much, I think, in my personal opinion, if you love the tribal of angels and rather have an angel deck or want to make a tribal angel deck in pure white or white black, I recommend buying this Secret Lair. It has everything you need if you're into angels. If you're just into Magic the Gathering in general and collection, it's a bit meh because it's very focused solely on one thing, but you get 2 powerful angels and 2 powerful lands for your tribal deck in amazing and beautiful art. And now we are on to the showcases. There is 3 of them in total. So I'll just be going over them because it's kind of hard. The other ones are easy to do because they're on a theme or they have an artist and you can talk about them. However, this is just kind of not random cards, but cards from different planes, and it's hard to kind of stick to one thing. So I'll be going over version 1 first. In this, you get 1 instant, 3 creatures and a land. And here they are on screen now. Wheel and Deal, Questing Beast, Olivia Voldaren, Walking Ballista, The World Tree. So it's kind of difficult to talk about how beautiful the art is because it's very varied. At least with the other Secret Lairs, I'm allowed to go all the arts by the same artist or have a similar theme. However, each card has its own different art from own different multiverses. So I'm not going to be talking about the art itself. However, again, the problem is with this type of stuff is I can also put a focus on if it goes good in a deck or not, because the cards are very randomized. There's no really ongoing theme with any of them. Pretty much it's one of those things that if you have a vampire deck and you just want this, go ahead. Walking Ballista is a really good and broken card, especially if you have the White God. You will literally just get to hose down anyone, and there's multiple ways to make that a broken card. So again, if you want the Secret Lair for those 2, go ahead. But what happens if you don't have a vampire deck or don't have a White God Walking Ballista broken deck? Then is instant worth it? Is the land worth it? There's nothing I can really grab onto, talk about, other than the individual cards on their own, and that's just going to take way too much time. There is one thing I don't really like about this though, is that they picked the World Tree. The main reason I didn't pick this is roughly the same time this is being released, they released the Cute to Brute Secret Lair deck that also had the World Tree in. Now, I have no problem with that card being in there. However, I did, if you didn't see the video, done my thoughts and opinions on it, and one of the things was they gave you like a handful of selection of really good and beautiful art cards, and then the rest is just normal art, where I would like a more of a slope. So some would be like normal art but foil, some would be extended art, and then a majority of the deck being the basic standard art. However, kind of releasing a new art the same time they're putting it in a secret layer, kind of shooting me in the foot, because it's one of those things that I'm just like, thanks. Now, I'm not saying that that secret layer one should be in there. However, because that secret layer one's in there, the one should have been maybe an extended or foil version of it, to be like, yeah, we're gonna not show the new best version of it and then just give you the worst, which is kind of what it felt like. Now we're on to the Volume 2 one. In this Volume 2, you get 5 creature cards, and here they are on screen now. Gur the Stillwind, Nezahal Primal Tide, Dragonlord Kolagan, Mina and Den Wildborn, Zangstja Sleeper Agent. The first one I want to actually talk about is mainly Nezahal. The main reason that being is we have 2 now cards in the coin art, and we're going to count Galta, but it's Galta and someone, not the original Galta. I'm hoping that they do the original 5, at least the one of each colour Elder Dinosaurs in this coin art, because they currently have 2. And then if they do release them again, like they did with Galta, where they made him green-white, they also done the coin art of him. If they release any Elder Dinosaurs in the set at the end of the year, they should do the coin one, and that's the thing I'm excited about. That coin art is absolutely beautiful. The second thing I want to talk about when it comes to this secret layer is the Dragonlord. This is, from the top of my head, the second Dragonlord they have released in an alternate art. The other one being printed in the Advent Calendar secret layer, which again, I have a video on if you're interested in watching. The other cards are, I've seen them somewhat played, they're quite good, but again, if you want at least 2 or 3 of the cards, I recommend buying it if you have that income to throw at these secret layers. And then finally we have the third volume of the showcases, and in this one you get 1 instant and 4 creatures. Misdirection, Utrava Hellkite, Kogla the Titan Ape, Nyxbloom Agent, Jorah Weatherlight Captain. So I'm going to be very biased. I love what I call the Mystical Archive art, or some people call it the Strixhaven alt art. I have an obsession with it. I have a small little red folder where I'm trying to collect all the Mystical Archives in its normal and Japanese version. And I've also started collecting the normal art in the sets in, like, Phyrexia will be one of March of the Machines, and the secret layers and aftermath and stuff like that. So I'm going to get Misdirect either way when it comes to being a single, mainly because anything in that art I want. Now that's going to be biased when it comes to people's opinions on it, so I'm not going to be like, you should buy this for Misdirect. However, if someone out there watches this video, buys that one and doesn't want Misdirect, DM me please. But I personally think this is the best one out of the 3, because the power overall when it comes to this is absolutely amazing. Anything that says Hellkite on it is a automatic must dragon. Very powerful, and the art is absolutely amazing. Kola the Ape Tiding is a really good green commander, and also a really good green card. I have it in my Galta deck, and if I ever got my hands on one of these, would be going in there. The only problem side with that is I think he has an ability with a human. However, I just usually ignore that. It's why I'm not sure if I have it, because he's still a good card overall. Nyxbloom Agent, very good card for mana base. You literally tap on land and get 3 times the amount, and the amount of mana you can make in Magic the Gathering. Having him in pretty much any deck that has green, that you want as much mana as possible to play your Expel Hydras, to play your Galtas, to play anything big and green, and if you add more colours, your big red spells, like the big massive black spells that cost X that do ridiculous things. He is really good at helping you get there. And then Jorah is really good for the story, and a really good card, because I'm pretty sure this is the one that is a really good commander. Whenever you play a historic spell, you get to draw, and draw is always good. So overall, my thoughts and opinions of this secret layer as a whole. I'm going to start off with the artist series. The artist series, the Angel ones, if it's Angel Tribal, must get. If you like any of the artists and want to support them, I recommend also buying it for that reason. If in the other 2 or any of the 3 you want at least 2 of the cards, I recommend buying it. When it comes to foil and non-foils, when it comes to these type of cards, I'm not going to give my opinion on them, because it's mainly how much money you have to splash. Personally, I've never really been the biggest fan of the foil version, but that's because I find it hard. Me being dyslexic, I find it hard to read anyway. So foil cards are even harder to read in my opinion. When it comes to Cool Ocean Brews or the natural adorable art ones, again, depends on how many cards you need. If you want the 2 cards, I recommend buying them in non-foil, unless you want to really up the grade of your deck. If you want 3 or 4, I would then say get the foil version. Again, it's mainly what you have in your decks or what decks you're planning on building when it comes to them ones. Now, when it comes to the showcase ones, it is based on how many of the cards you want, how bad you want them. Do you want them for deck upgrades or do you want them for the art itself? If there is a certain art card you want, like we'll just say the Neri coin one, if you're planning on collecting them, I say wait until the singles have lowered, maybe in a month or 2, and then buying it then, if it's just for collecting a kind of art series, because buying a full Secret Lair for 1 card that you're just going to put in the folder for collection, unless you have the money to spare, I recommend not doing it. Overall, I give this, I'm going to say a 7.2 as a whole Secret Lair. You do get a lot of cards. Again, I do think the showcase one should have been a pick and mix. I'm so happy they got rid of, if you spend over a certain amount, you get a weird card like they did with the DJ Scarab God. I'm happy they didn't do that. But I like that they're giving more time, more options, and it's like, I think this is the way Secret Lair should be going forward in the future. Let me know down in the comments if you bought any of the Secret Lairs, which card out of any of the Secret Lairs you think is the best art. While you're down there, remember to like, subscribe, and follow me on all my social media, and I will see you in the next video. And if you like this video, I have many Is It Worth It videos here. I have actually a playlist of Is Stuff Worth It here, and then a subscribe button here that I think you should all hit now.